There's some video that came out of Parchman prison out in Mississippi. Now, this particular prison was actually built on the Parchman plantation back in 1900. The irony, right? So you had a plantation that had black slaves on it, and then you converted to put more black slaves on it. That land has never known a time without slavery. Just like this country has never known a time without slavery. Where videos start coming out and pictures start coming out when inmates was posting the conditions inside of Parchman prison. Now, I want to show you a few things. I have video to show you, and also we will look at some pictures of what's really going on inside that prison. But we have laws against this. This was you call cruel and unusual punishment. But let me go ahead and show you the evidence of this, and we're going to talk about what's really going on in Parchman prison.
Man, them folks took us out of 29, man. MSP 29, man. Put us in 32. Condemned. This motherfucker been condemned 10 years, man. Look at the flow, man. And they just up and put us in here, man. Look at the flow. All the water in the flow, man. You trying to flood out. Look at the mildew everywhere, man, on the things. Ain't no running water. Mildew everywhere. Paint coming out the wall, bro. Mildew everywhere. Black mold, man. That's black mold. You can't even breathe that shit in, man. Look at the paint, bro. Look at this shit. This shit condemned, bro. We ain't got no running water. We ain't ate. And we ain't ate in 10 hours, man.
We ain't ate nothing. Our water ain't working.
Get cold as a motherfucker in here. Man, look at all that black mold, man.
Ain't nobody got no mat.
Ain't nobody got no mats. No mats, bro. We sleeping on straight concrete, man. No mat. Look at these guys. No mats, no power. No power, none of that. Water everywhere, man. Water everywhere. No running water, man. No running water, period.
Spiders all in the same. Look how old this shit is.
No mat, man.
We ain't got shit in this shit. Straight
concrete, man.
They took all our food, no hygiene.
We ain't got no hygiene, no toothbrush, no running water. No none of that. Look at the water on the floor, man.
Ain't nobody in here got
You wanna walk on?
we recording this shit so these folks.
Look at all the water on the floor, man.
We ain't got no phone to call out to nobody.
We can't get on the wall phone. Look at the mold on it, man. Go in the shower.
Yeah.
Shower ain't got no water, man. We ain't took no shower since we been here.
Man, show out here.
No running water, man. I said them cover y'all face and shit. Bro, look at mildew everywhere, man. Who in the town, what they doing?
The pictures you're going to see, no human being should be enduring this. And understand, most people who are locked up in jail in America is through drug offenses. And not saying that they were some big time drug dealer. Sometimes they could be the person using the drugs. And we know that they target black men more than any other group to lock them up. So as you scroll down here, it says ceiling fan above the cell there at the Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman. But look at the rats. It's the inmates at the Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman talking about the huge mice or rats they see in his prison. Now, rats carry all kinds of diseases. We know this. Now, the Mississippi Health Department inspection at the Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman shows moldy potato casserole left inside a kitchen oven. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of things these people do. They cite health violations at the kitchen. I mean, it's just a mess. You look at this, what is that? So they said this is one of the photographed inmates at the Mississippi State Penitentiary and they have to share of meals. I mean, what is that mess they're eating? Here they're saying that they're trying their best to stay cool, so they don't have no AC in the brutal summers. Over here, as you can see, this says inspection of Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman shows a hole behind the toilet that doesn't even function. I mean, that is nasty, man. Here they're talking about inmates at the Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman say many prison towers which once held correctional officers, now sit empty. This is an empty tower at 29-8 building. They have a major shortage also of prison guards. Now look at this here. They said that there's garbage and roaches on the inside of a pipe chase. This is how people are living. Now listen, this is the United States of America. We don't operate that way, but understand Mississippi and places like that, they get away with doing things like this because you have to understand by our Constitution, the 13th Amendment says that you can put people as slaves by the Constitution. The same Constitution that said you can't have a private slavery, which is what you're stopping, but you can have state-ran slavery. And all these jails that you see is a big business. It's not just for public safety, it's big business. And when these workers in jail, they are slaves. They're not workers at all. They're paid 20 cents a day for the work that they're doing. Now, as you can see here, they say that upon inspection, they're missing ceiling tile and shower knobs. Here, let me look at there. It says a hole in the wall behind the drinking fountain. I mean, it's just nasty. Everything is just nasty. Here, look at that. They don't have no tiles where the shower is at. I mean, all kind of diseases that you can get in staph. I mean, just imagine how many people have died from disease. Now you see another time, 2019, they showed dead flies on a fly trap in the kitchen. I mean, just sickening. My thing is, how could you as a worker be in that filth too? Because you got to work there. How could you be in that? See that, smell all that mess that's going on. Okay. Now, as you can see here, it say in a day room, it says this big old cockroach that's there as they took pictures of that. Also, they're talking about the missing sinks they were supposed to have there. As you can see, there's a clogged sink with an inoperable garbage disposal. This is how they're operating. They're not operating this prison at all. They're just letting it go to hell. They say this is house these people. We don't care. They allow the prison gangs to run the jail because the guards allow them to. Actually, they don't care at all about anybody in there. Now here they say wires are exposed in the day room. Now you can start all kind of fire like that. They don't care. Here there's a bird inside of a cell window in the Mississippi State Penitentiary. You have a freaking bird. They don't care. I mean, these people are acting straight cave the way they're running this jail. I mean, straight cave from the Caucasus Mountain cave. Now here it said bird eat off of food off of the trays of inmates over there. I mean, look at this. They said that water floods inside Unit 29. So water be all over the place. It said especially when it rains. Here it says exposed pipes and broken sinks are a common sight at the Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman. I mean, that is ridiculous. Look at this. It said when it rains at the Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman, water floods many cells and even the kitchen. Inmates regularly post photos and videos of the water pouring into Unit 29. That is ridiculous, man. On this one, they said that 100 inmates at the penitentiary sit in the dark because their lights don't work. On this next photo, inmates at the penitentiary say toilets sometimes back up and overflow due to the rain. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. And they say 100 inmates say that, okay, they say they don't work. I think we covered that. They say now this is 2007 in the unit. They say a maximum security unit at the Parchman say it was shuttered in 2010 as part of a settlement by the ACLU, which has sued the Mississippi Department of Corrections for the unit's inhumane conditions and lack of medical and mental care. And also here they're talking about this the entrance into this. And this is just sick. This is utterly sick. So you saw all of that. Numerous health conditions there. Black mold. You have no running water. water all over the place because the place is leaking, don't have proper food, mold on the food. You saw rats, roaches. There's certain video I couldn't even show you and pictures of people stabbed up in there. Some people were dead because this was going on. You have correctional officers that are there, but they're not staffed as they should be. And the staff that is there, they don't care. They allow the gangs that's in there to do what they want. They've had people that have been stabbed and even killed, multiple people per day, because the guards would give keys to these inmates and allow them to go and stab people or kill people. These gangs is in the jails, assisted by the guards. They run every aspect of it. Food, using the telephone, showers, everything. It is chaos in there. The state of Mississippi, when they was told that they need to do something about that prison, they took $165 million away from improvement to put it somewhere else. They were sued at one point in time by the ACLU about the conditions in that prison. Now, you heard the one brother said that one unit they put them in was supposed to be condemned. You're supposed to have no one in there, and they put them in there. See, shout out to those brothers who had burner phones and got the pictures out there, because let me tell you something, that would have never came to light if that would not have happened. Talking about those conditions. And understand something, people that are in prison, I'm going to say this, and I'll say this multiple times, the majority of people who are in prison is not for murder. It's not for rape. It's not for terrorism. It's for drugs. People that use drugs, or if you're a certain color, because how is it we have an opioid crisis in this country, and yet we don't have mass incarceration of white people? Because they're the ones on the opioids. But it was amazing how when black people was on crack, all of a sudden there's mass incarceration of black people. Even that is done by design and done by race. Black men lead in exonerations when it comes to prisons. Black men are the most in there because it's done by design. This is why when you look at the way things are in this country for black people, we have sinked lower than what we were during the civil rights movement. We have. And collectively, we need to understand that this system is so deep against us that there's no way really to claw out of it unless it's going to take definitely some sacrifice and discipline. Simple thing that Martin Luther King showed us to do was to have strong economic boycotts and stick to them, because that what hurts capitalism is you stop spending your money. They need you to spend your money for capitalism to work. If you hold your money, it doesn't work. And black people are great contributors to this economy because we spend the most money. See, when you see these kind of conditions and you see what happens to us daily in this country. So when you hear me say, have your Africa plan, that's why. African nations not mass incarcerating their people. Are they perfect? No. They got their issues and problems. Yes, they do. And we have reported many of the issues and problems right here. And we will continue to report the issues and problems right here because we want to make sure anything we say is with balance. We don't give this utopia to Africa like there's no issues and problems or you won't run into anything. But one thing they're not doing is mass incarcerating their people. They don't have millions of people locked up in jail in the whole continent. We are one country. We have more people locked up than China, and China has billions of people living there. And they don't even lock up their people like that. But it's by design to keep the black man in prison and in those conditions. This is against the law, completely against the law. This is against the Constitution, and something needs to be done. People that say that you into politics, this is where you stand up and this is where you shine, right? Those of you that like to call your senators and call your Congress people, call the local government, call the governor, and stay on top of them. This is the time for black folks to start doing that. because this is important. This is extremely important. They should have a lawsuit on top of a lawsuit. Now, Yo Gotti and Jay-Z's Rock Nation has sent a letter to the governor of Mississippi, Phil Bryant. And they told him, you got into the weekend to clean this up, or we filing a major lawsuit against the state and the prison bureaus as a civil lawsuit, and rightfully so, because this is wrong. Somebody needs to step in. And it's good that Yo Gotti and, Jay-Z's Rock Nation want to step in, because this is what we need those brothers to do. Those of you who have the resources need to step in and help people out, because this is utterly wrong. This is not something that should be normal. And people that could be watching this video from other countries, don't have this, like, some people may tell us about Africa, don't have this romanticism even about this place, America, because they have a whole lot of things going on in this country they want you to know. See, if they wouldn't have had those cell phones and they wouldn't have posted these videos and those conditions to social media, no one would have known anything. The mainstream media isn't jumping on this like they should. It's going to take social media to force them, like we forced them many times before, to cover stories like this. And only when they're forced to cover it, then that's when something's going to be done. That's usually how it works. We are the ones that start reporting and gathering together on social media. Those brothers need our collective voice. They need our help. So if you are a content creator and care about, just people in general or the community, use your platform to speak up. That's how you can do that. You don't need no major platform. You can just start out. It doesn't matter. Put your voice out there. Let people know how you feel. Make calls. Send emails. That's how you do that. The governor needs to be called. And what we're going to do is provide contact information for the governor of Mississippi in the pinned comment. And I want you guys to take that information and run with it, because that governor needs to hear from everybody at this point. That conditions is wrong. It's completely wrong. And it's not right for any civilized society to have anybody in that. We don't do that here in America. That's not what we do. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about the situation that's going on in Parchman prison. But understand something. If we don't say nothing, this will continue to go on. Trust me. And the brothers that do have phones in prison, if for some reason, if you see this video, because sometimes you guys do see videos, let people know what's going on in your prison if things isn't right.